Let me have your attention for a minute. This is something for the ladies. I'm chilling with the queens of the Stoned Age.
Hello, welcome to Queens of the Stoned Age, the show where girls in this case, get together and smoke weed and talk about whatever we want. My name is Mira Gonzalez. I am your managing editor and host of Queens of the Stoned Age, which is brought to you by Mary Jane, which is a cannabis media company owned by Snoop Dogg. I am here today with the band Potty Mouth, which is...
What's up?
Hey guys, how's it going? This is Allie, Abby, and Victoria, and they are here talking to us today about whatever, but specifically their new album Snafu, which is out on March 1st. I got that right? Nice. Yeah. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Yeah? You guys doing well?
Yeah, this is fun to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad. So do you guys have a long history with weed? Specifically, I do want to shout out our Green Angels sponsors, which is a all-female weed delivery service. So that's the weed that we're going to be smoking on today. This is Blue Dream. You can check out their website at greenangels.buzz, B-U-Z-Z. They're awesome. So do you guys smoke weed in your day-to-day lives? Does that have anything to do with your songwriting process? Or is your songwriting process totally devoid of weed?
Yeah, I don't smoke a lot of weed like every day. It's more like a recreational thing for me. And I have tried to smoke weed and write. And I one of our like early songs called Drip Dry, I wrote when I was really high with our old guitarist Phoebe. And it definitely is like a fun way to, I don't know, like break out of my normal system of songwriting, but in general I feel like it just makes me feel too goofy to like be able to sit down and focus.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah, I've definitely felt that way in my life as a writer. Like it can be, I think at this point I've inoculated myself enough that I can like do anything while I'm stoned, but it takes some time, I think. What about
for
you?
me it's the opposite. I love weed. I smoke it all the time.
You're in the right place.
I smoke weed to help myself be more functional. It helps me like dial down all of the chatter in my brain. I'm someone who has a lot of anxiety. I am in my head all the time. And so when I get stoned, like I'm the type of person, like I like to go to a yoga class when I'm stoned because it's when I feel the most present and like able to really focus my thoughts and my energy on the one thing that I, am aiming to focus on. And it also really does help me with playing music. I remember like the first time I ever played a show while I was high, it wasn't with Potty Mouth, it was with my old band, Aunt Honeysuck. And I remember feeling like I went into this like survival mode of like fight or flight because it felt like so challenging in a way to play the songs, but not in a way where I was like fucking them up. Like I was like, I felt like so hyper focused on doing everything right that I almost feel like
taking up your whole headspace as opposed to being like part of it where there's a lot of chatter going on.
And
over
I was
here.
like, whoa, like how am I doing this right now? Like how am I playing this? And it's so fast, and I was just gonna keep going. And
it's like limitless, right? Like you just smoke the weed and suddenly you can do everything. Everything's going in slow motion. You can just.
But now that I've become more accustomed to playing music that way, it just is. It feels like it's just my preferred way to play music because I'm also someone who, I doubt myself a lot, and I don't doubt myself so much when I'm stoned. Like because like that chatter in my brain that is telling me that I suck and this and that, what I have to do tomorrow, whatever, it's all just totally dialed down.
Yeah, but you're basically taking like words out of my head. Like that's basically like the same way that I feel about weed. And it's interesting because I like know a lot of artists who feel differently and who smoke weed sometimes but kind of like can't, do it when they create, like you're saying. But for me, it's like it just takes away like the chatter that I normally have that makes it like impossible to create any insecurities. Now, you're saying during your songwriting process, you like using weed? Do you do it during live shows as well? Is that helpful for you or for either of you?
I was saying not. I mean, because Abby really does most of the writing. I mean, just for me, playing music in
Just
general, at all, whether I'm practicing by
Right.
myself or playing with my band or playing a show, it's sort of the same.
Right.
It just makes me feel less in my head and less anxious. So
yeah, absolutely. And so have you guys been playing music for a long time? Like, how did you guys start playing music together specifically? Was this something that you guys didn't do before you guys met each other, or do you guys have a long history with playing music?
Yeah, we've been in a band for 8 years.
8 years to the month, actually.
Yeah.
February 2011 was when we
Anniversary.
had our first practice. Yeah, I was thinking about that. We should celebrate.
Wow,
Yeah.
congratulations. We'll get you guys a cake.
And when we started, I had never been in like a real band before. I tried to play music with friends, and nothing like really stuck.
Did you play music on your own?
Not really.
Okay.
I
So you were just kind of interested peripherally.
I just borrowed a friend's guitar and told, I had reached out to some people saying that I would be down to be in a band, and Phoebe, who used to play guitar with us, knew Allie and Victoria, and so when Allie wanted to start a band, Phoebe was just like, oh, I'll hit up Abby. I know that she wants to, even though I'd never really even played guitar before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And so you kind of like learned as you were playing
Yeah.
with the band.
I pretty much learned how to play basket case, and then I was like, okay, I can fucking write a song.
Solid
Like-
choice. What about you, Victoria? When did you start playing music?
I was like 8. So
Oh, okay. So a long
It's
time.
been 20 years.
Wow.
I'm 15 now.
Oh, okay, wow.
So,
So you have like
great.
the
Yeah,
longest.
yesterday was
Like that, yeah.
Victoria's birthday.
Wow, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Thank you.
And so what did you first start playing? Did your parents play music? Did they like encourage you to play music, or did you just come to
they
it
were
on
just
your
like,
own?
You have to go take lessons.
Right,
at
do
least
something.
So, and it was drums.
Oh,
So,
okay,
yeah.
amazing. And so were you in bands before Potty Mouth as well?
Yeah.
Nice. And what about you, Allie?
I started playing bass when I was like 20. I was in college, and I had always wanted to be in a punk band. And so I like started practicing by myself, and then met someone who like literally just handed me a cassette tape and was like, I wrote these 10 songs. I'm looking for a bassist and a drummer. If you're serious about learning bass, learn these 10 songs. And that became my first band. And that was like 2 years before Potty Mouth started. And then, and that's really the band that taught me, what it means to play bass in a band and not just practice by yourself.
Right.
And eventually, like, after playing with that band, I really just wanted to start something with specifically like all women. And like Abby said, I knew Victoria from college, knew she was a drummer. And so, we just got together, and
I had never even met either of them
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
until our first practice.
Oh,
I'd
wow.
seen Allie's band play before, but we'd never talked or anything.
yeah,
until-
like my first band played the library where Abby's mom works.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God, your mom's a librarian. They're like the most important
Yes.
people in America. I love librarians. Wow. Okay. So you guys
Yeah.
have like kind of varied histories in music then. So you guys are coming out with an album very soon, March 1st, right?
Yeah.
And so your last album, I believe, was 4 years ago. And so I come from a family of musicians, so it interests me. Like, do you guys think that amount of time is the ideal amount of time that you would take to make an album in your
Hell
ideal
no.
world? No?
No,
No, it
I
was
know
not
some-
by choice.
No, it was actually
Would you be like more prolific or less prolific in terms of like when you
More.
come out with the albums? More.
Yeah, way more.
Okay, it's because I know a lot of musicians who say the opposite, who are like, I wish I could take 4 years to make each album and take a lot of time with it, but you guys don't feel that way.
no.
Is that...
The art. Well, I mean, I think when
popping off.
No, do it. We love it.
it's like,
Pop off.
of course, like we want to make a carefully crafted, like well-produced album. Of
Right,
course,
of
we want
course.
to take our time. Does that require multiple years? No.
Okay.
Like the multiple years comes from, the inevitable obstacles of merging art with business, because
Yeah.
like the art is prolific. We have so
Right.
many songs. Like we have so many albums worth of songs that haven't been released. It's not like there's a shortage of material.
Right.
it's the business side of it that makes things slow. And
if somebody's saying this is worth producing, this is not worth producing, this is something like or whatever, and not really.
And if we weren't invested in this band at a career level, if we didn't truly want to, make this our career path, then it wouldn't matter as much.
If you're trying to make a living off of being an artist, it's a different thing.
And so like when the opportunities to do that are so few and far between because of the industry and who's on what label and how much money, it's just very hard. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you guys released this album on your own label. Was it your label? Is that your label?
It's a label called Get Better Records that was started 10 years ago by my partner Alex.
Okay.
So we are dating. Alex lives in Philly. I live in LA. We're in a long distance relationship. I just started helping out with a label this past year from just like the LA branch or whatever. I don't know. Right. Eventually we're going to move the whole label to LA, but this year sort of marks the transition of that, where we're going to do a Get Better Fest in Philly and then we're going to do a Get Better Fest in LA with West Coast bands. Yeah.
Wow.
That's we have a lot of West Coast bands on the label. So
and so were you guys with a different label on your last album and then you transitioned to your own label essentially? Is that right?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I mean, our first album, Hellbent, came out on Old Flame, which was great. Shout out to Rob. He loves to smoke weed.
Yeah. Like that.
Yeah.
Good job, Rob.
Yeah, and that's the album that kind of really gave us our start, and that's when we started touring more seriously and stuff. And and then for our EP that came out in 2015, that was a different label, and didn't work out the way we wanted to. So luckily we haven't been in any binding contracts. I mean, that would be that would be worse.
It kills so many bands.
Yeah. It does. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, so what was the experience like then? Going from, because obviously any label that you're on, you're going to have to be asking for the advice of other people and the input of other people. You don't get full creative control, so to speak. But it seems like with an album that you and your partner, or with a record label that you and your partner run, you guys probably were able to achieve full creative control, I imagine. Was that a big relief for you guys? Is that something that is exciting for this new album?
For sure. I mean, to not have an A&R person breathing down our necks, being like, you should do this, you should do,
it's so confusing.
Basing the value of art on, analytics and business success, I think is always doomed. I don't think that there's any way to say this art is more valuable because it makes more money for X, Y, and Z reason. It's not the kind of thing that you can really put value on in that way. And it's a shame that, people are being made to make their art under those constraints specifically. I think that's really, really hard as an artist.
Right. And there's also so much tied up with having money. If you have or if you're independently wealthy and can afford to because being in a band, unless you're touring literally constantly or just achieving that rare commercial success that is
and
not
even if
many
you do
bands
that, you'll probably have to tour constantly.
Right?
Still.
So if you're a person in a band and you can afford to not work a full-time job, or your parents help pay for your recording, things are going to be a lot easier. And I feel like that's not something that people have been really talking about, but it's something we've been talking about a lot lately because it's frustrating. I mean, and that's life. We all come different points America, of advantage, but it all has to do with the fact that there isn't as much monetary value or career lucrative that kind of mainstream value put on art as a career path.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even though what would the world be without art and music?
Well, it's crazy about artists, because it's if you're an artist who is not yet successful, and by success meaning if you're not yet making money off of your art basically, then you're seen as a lazy slob basically, oh, you're a musician, okay, fine, have fun with your band. It's a trope, people say that. But then the second that you get popular and people are appreciating your art, you are the most respected person in America, and everybody loves you. Then you're Rihanna, and then everybody
and it's
thinks
so
you're
hard
the shit. And it's the middle ground is nobody talks about it.
It's
nobody
impossible.
talks about how you get there.
Why?
It's really, really
it's such a hard jump to make. Yeah, especially if you don't have your own personal funds, because in order to get to that higher point, it's like that phrase, like dress for the job that you want.
Right. Like how are you going to do that if you don't have the money to pay for the clothes?
Yeah, how can we pay for clothes, music videos, all these things that take money when we're all working?
Right.
And like,
how do you tour if you're having to work to be able to make rent? That doesn't make sense.
And all of the time that you're working is time that you could be spending, like working out and looking fucking hot so that people want to do photo shoots with you or like even just taking care of yourself and like,
but that takes time and energy and money at this point.
Practicing your instrument, even making more art, that all takes time that you don't have unless you,
if you have to
can
make
afford
money.
to.
Exactly.
This is where we're at right now.
Yeah.
If you can't tell, like, we're working our asses off. And not, I mean, I don't want to make it seem like, oh, we're looking for pity. A lot of our peers, a lot of our friends who are career musicians work really, really hard.
System-wide problem. It's not just you guys.
And especially with this, our album coming out in less than 2 weeks, like, on top of having a full-time job that I have to have literally just to get by in LA, just so I can pay rent.
Yeah.
And I'm living here so that I can do this band.
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially asking you to work, 2 jobs.
That's what I feel like.
Literally.
Because it's like the second, so I use every minute of my lunch. I'm like, not just complaining. I use every minute of my lunch break on band stuff. But I do.
Look, we hate capitalism here. I'm with you.
But that's how I'm choosing to spend every spare minute of my life, because this is what I'm here for. I'm here for this.
I'm
in a long-distance relationship, not because I want to be, but because my partner and I still have our separate goals that we're pursuing.
Right.
And we will come together when the timing is right, but right now we're both on our paths. So it's like, everything I do is for the band, but we're working our asses off. I mean, we've been a band for 8 years, and like
8 years
that is a long time in the world of being a punk rock whatever band. Like,
unbelievably long time. I mean, absolutely. Like that is like, I mean, an 8-year career, if you think about it as a job, which I fully believe that it is a job, then, by 8 years, you should be like having gotten many raises and be at the very, top of your company and, the American dream, so to speak. And it's like, artists don't really get that here. We're not really respected here as much, I think it's rough. It's, I don't know, being an artist under any industry that is intended to make money, I do wonder how doomed that is, it just seems like art is something that should not be connected to capital inherently. And that makes for an incredibly difficult time for artists in general. You guys especially, I imagine. I mean, being like a young girl punk band, I was doing my research before you guys came onto the show and, researching you guys, I see a lot of people saying Riot Girl, like Bikini Kill. And I love Bikini Kill. I think that's fantastic. Like I am super, super down. But at the same time, I wonder, are they just running out of ways to explain female musicians?
Yeah, for sure.
I think, do you guys ever feel like you are...
It's something that we've been dealing with our entire time as a band, getting that reference, and we've talked about it a lot and how that is a really important part of music history for women in music. But it is just a really boiled down way of literally just looking at music, not listening to what's happening, right? Because
just seeing 3 girls on a stage,
looking or just hearing a female sounding voice, oh, that's like a girl, and especially in a rock music context where it's not like so often the female voice is associated with pop singing, but to hear a female sounding voice performing a rock music, people hear that and they're like, oh, that's Riot Girl, or that's that's female fronted, as if female fronted is any kind of descriptor for sound.
One band that has girls in it, that's it. Yeah, I mean, it's, I think that definitely ties into what we're talking about, in terms of the industry and being pigeonholed into one, group that is a group that has been, commercially successful in the past, something like Riot Girl, something like that. Now, as much as I love talking about stuff like this, I do want to talk about your guys' history a little bit as for each other. So you guys met in college, is that right?
They met in college.
You two met in
the
college.
town where I grew up in.
So she was still in high school.
Oh, okay, you were still in high
As
school.
a recent article said, she's half a decade younger than us. And that sounds so dramatic.
Wow. So you guys are old as fuck, and you're 15.
Yeah, half a decade younger.
Okay.
So I had just graduated college. Victoria was still at the college that we both went to, Smith, and then Abby was still in high school.
Okay, so you're the youngest then, Victoria. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
12.
12.
Yeah.
Got it.
She's 15.
Call the
she's
cops
20.
on us. She's 12. This is a problem. Shouldn't be taking her on tour. She has to be in school. So what were you guys studying at college? What were you like?
Did U.S. history.
U.S. history. Got it. And so you were interested in music while you were doing that, but you decided not to study in college. Is that
Smith isn't really
not a
super
music.
big on, at least the music we do. They're just mostly like classical type.
right?
It's-
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine there aren't many colleges that are big on.
But
like,
you found
punk
a way
music.
to get credit taking
Yeah, I
drum.
took drum lessons so
Yeah.
that I could like use the
practice
little
room.
practice room.
Oh,
there.
wow.
Yeah, but I had to take a class to
Oh,
get
wow.
access to that.
I'm interested. What drew you to drums? You said you started at a really young age. Were you that young when you started drums specifically, or just music in general?
Drums specifically.
Drums.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I was literally. It
Wow.
probably just popped into my head, and I said, "Mom, can I do this?" And she was like, yeah, "Okay."
That's so
Yeah.
funny. My uncle is a like career drummer. He like does like he like started in like wedding bands, and now he does like background music on like Broadway shows. So he's been doing it forever, and he has like such a similar experience of just not even remembering why he wanted to play drums,
Yeah.
but knowing that he wanted to from an extremely young age. There's like a little book that he made as a kid that was like the fish who wanted a drum set, and it was just a fish and like drums, and it was
Oh
like
my
this
God.
totally
Oh my
nonsensical
God.
little baby book about like wanting
so
drums.
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cute.
Now we have Logan, the doll.
Who's Logan?
Oh yeah, the American boy
American
doll.
boy doll. We just recently found out American Girl makes boy dolls, and there's one named Logan who likes drums.
Yeah.
Wow. He sounds like somebody who like I would fawn over in middle school. Like,
Yeah.
really had a huge crush on. Okay, so we do have a segment. So you guys are all from or around Massachusetts.
I didn't get to
right?
say what I studied.
Oh, say it. Go.
I was a sociology gender studies double major.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah.
What, were you planning to go into music when you studied that?
No.
No. What were you
I
planning
didn't.
to do?
Like I said, I didn't even start playing bass until I was basically like junior in college.
Okay.
I wanted to get my PhD in sociology and be a professor.
Wow, but too
Yeah.
expensive. That's why I dropped out of
Just
college.
like not enough jobs, and like what can you do besides teach? And like, do I really want to be in school for the rest of my life?
yeah,
you
that is
know?
a really, really good question.
Like, and do I really want to move to like Kansas if that's like the only place where I can get tenure, you know?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Your
Yeah.
life becomes dictated by the job market.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. That is really rough. I don't think you said what you were.
Oh, I
majoring
didn't
in.
go to college.
You didn't go to college?
Yeah.
Nice. I dropped out pretty early, so
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah, the band was just touring too much by the time
Okay.
I graduated high school. I did a gap year first. I was gonna go to Mass College of
Forgot
Art,
about that.
and then just decided not to go.
Yeah, yeah.
And we are so proud of her in that moment.
Yeah, does it feel good to not have to like be in debt? And, like,
Yeah.
it's nice, right? That's as soon as I realized I was going to be into debt, I was like, all right, this isn't worth it. I'm outie. Like, see ya. I'm going to pursue writing
Yeah, it's
now.
crazy.
Yeah.
I remember, can I just say, I remember feeling so conflicted about, because I knew how badly you wanted to go to FIT, and I knew that was going to be like the deciding factor. Like, if you got accepted into FIT, then the band would probably have to like stop or, you know, like do a lot
Yeah.
less. And like, it
You were
felt.
like,
But you were
no.
so happy when I didn't get accepted.
I know, that's the thing. It felt wrong to be like weirdly relieved when you didn't get accepted to
my
FIT.
God.
But it all worked
I
out in
just
the
thought of
end.
that.
I mean, no, it's for the best.
It changed
Yeah.
the course of history. Like, if you could go, it's like the butterfly effect. If that didn't happen, like, where would we be right now?
Probably not in this room with
Yeah.
me. So I'm down. I think you made the right choice.
Yeah, same.
So we put together a segment for you guys that we're going to do. So you guys are all from around Massachusetts. So we looked up. Apparently, Massachusetts has some really crazy laws still on the books that I did not
Oh,
know
really?
about. Yeah, one of our producers brought it up to me how they have some like laws from like the 1600s that are just fucking batshit. So we're gonna play a game.
Oh, cool. I love stuff like this.
Yeah, it's a good one. So the game is I'm gonna read you guys 3 laws, and one of them will be fake. Yes. And the other 2 are real. So it's like 2 truths and a lie, but with laws in Massachusetts.
Yeah,
let's do it.
It's like this is like wait, don't tell me that NPR.
Yeah. That's what we model ourselves after.
Oh, cool.
Don't tell them. All right. First question, and you guys can either answer individually or come to a consensus. Up to you.
Okay.
We're a group.
Yeah, we're a group. We'll stick together.
Yeah, we'll stick together.
Democratic. I like it. So. All right, first one. 1, it's illegal to eat peanuts in church. Also, don't look at the computer. It'll tell you which one's real and which one's not.
Okay.
2, milk can only be consumed in a copper mug. 3, it's illegal to give beer to hospital patients. Do you guys want to hear them again?
I mean, the last one just makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Fair? Okay.
Yeah.
So last one's real. All right, then what about the other 2? It's illegal to eat peanuts in church, and milk can only be consumed in a copper mug.
Is it
I
two
think
truths?
I think this is
2 truths and a
this
lie,
is
yeah.
a trick question. I think the beer in the hospital
Spoiler
is
alert, it is not a trick question.
okay. Well, wait. Okay.
I feel like the peanuts in church could be real because it's disruptive.
Yeah,
Peanuts in church
it's
is real.
respectful.
Peanuts in church is real. Beer in hospital is obviously real because it's not a trick question. So
milk in a copper mug is fake?
Yeah.
You are correct.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I think I was born to be a game show host. Okay, next question. At a wake, mourners may eat no more than 3 sandwiches. It is illegal for any citizen to own more than 2 dogs. It's illegal for more than 3 unmarried women to live together in a house.
That's real.
That's real for sure.
Okay.
Really? Why do you guys say that?
Because they had laws like that.
Then
Then
Victoria and I are true outlaws.
I mean,
'cause
you
we
would
went to
know.
Smith.
U.S. history major.
Okay, that's true. Girls can't live together.
Okay.
So then your house in Western Mass would have been illegal.
Yeah.
To this day.
What was the other one?
It's illegal for any citizen to own more than 2 dogs. And it's
I think
illegal.
that's true.
No, at a wake, mourners may eat no more than 3 sandwiches.
I think that's a fake one.
That sounds too random.
That sounds too random.
Yeah, why is it a sandwich?
All right, you guys.
Yeah,
is that your
what if you
final?
have chicken
Yeah.
wings?
That's your final decision.
Final answer.
You are incorrect.
What?
The fake one was it's illegal for more than 3 unmarried women to live
wow.
together in a house.
You
Damn.
appealed it.
Yeah.
You put that there because you knew that one would rile us up, and you were like, "That's gotta
It's
be
kind of a
real."
trick question. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, they're gonna get too many of them right.
Yeah,
I gotta appeal to
that's gotta
emotions.
be real. Like that's why feminism had to happen or whatever. Like,
Tricking the feminists.
yeah, that's why you
That's
wanted
what
to
we
know
do
what my
here.
major was. Yeah,
So I could make fun of you and be like, oh, feminism.
they knew that one would rile us.
All right.
You were like, "That's got
They
yeah."
have laws like that.
They do. There was a lot of
Yeah.
really antiquated, crazy laws there. That happened to not be one, but there was like definitely worse ones that were real. So
Wait, so then you're not allowed to have more than 2 dogs?
yeah, apparently.
What?
Yeah, isn't
Wow.
that weird? Really crazy. These laws are still on the books.
Yeah, I know. That doesn't
Yeah,
make
right?
sense.
Like, yeah, it doesn't really make any sense. I feel like if you had that much land, you could have as many dogs as you want, and they'd probably be happy, right? As long as they eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really get it. Okay, last one. You guys ready? Mm-hmm. Okay. 1, no one may take a bath without a prescription from a doctor. 2, no more than 3 goats are permitted in any bakery. And then 3, Christmas is illegal. If you celebrate Christmas, you'll be fined 5 shillings.
There's no shillings. Wait.
Shillings.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gotta be fake. What's a shilling?
It's like British.
I mean, you're the American history major.
I mean, maybe they had shillings
back
like
when
before.
it was
Yeah.
Well, they're old, so they're old laws, a lot of
Yeah.
them that are still on
Right.
the books
Yeah.
from a long time ago. So if that provides any context.
Wait, so Christmas,
so
Is
five
it legal?
shillings you have to pay?
no more than 3 goats permitted in a bakery.
I believe
Christmas is
that.
illegal. You'll be fined 5 shillings if you celebrate it. And no one may take a bath without a prescription from a doctor. Which one's fake? Tough one,
Why
huh?
are they not celebrating Christmas? They're all
Yeah.
Puritans. I don't know.
What's
I mean,
the
out of
origin
context.
Christmas?
Yeah.
Is that what's
question.
taken?
It's like
Is
a-
that is?
That is like a
Google.
European thing,
Is
but
it? We'll have to do a whole episode on that because I have no fucking idea.
I feel like that's got to be true in some weird way.
the Christmas one?
Yeah. Or no? Okay.
Why?
Yeah,
Because they
we
were like
thought-
anti-European or something? Like when they were
No.
settling and trying to separate from.
Christianity's
I don't know.
Christianity. I don't know.
Yeah.
Christmas.
Okay,
I
that
don't
one's.
know.
I think that one's fake.
You think that
The
one's fake?
Christmas
Okay, yeah, that
one.
one's fake. We'll say that one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You guys are incorrect.
What?
The fake one was no more than 3 goats are allowed in a bakery.
Okay, I for sure thought that was true for some reason.
Weird stuff
You
like
you
that.
said
Yeah.
any bakery. It was like made it seem like
Yeah, I'm a
like
very
any
tricky writer.
bakery at all. Like
I'm glad I was able to trick you guys for at least 2. I thought for sure like you guys would be like, easy, I've Googled this before, like no problem.
Oh my God, no.
Very nice. Well, thank you guys so much for being on our lovely show.
thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you for
So
having
fun.
us.
The name of the band is Potty Mouth. Your album comes out on March 1st, and it's called
Yes.
Snafu.
Yes.
Yes.
Situation normal, all fucked up.
Nice.
Yeah.
And anything else you guys want to plug? Anything coming up that people should pay attention to?
We
for?
have an album release show on March 1st, also at the Factory.
in Los Angeles.
Yes.
Nice. And is there a website that anyone can go to like buy tickets, or do you just show up?
There's a Facebook event, and I think that will be linked to our website.
Yeah,
Great.
pottymouthworld.com.
Yeah.
Great. And we will include those links in the show description. Thank you so much for listening. Remember to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts and like us and rate us and comment on our YouTube videos and tell my boss that I'm doing a really good job. And my name is Mira Gonzalez. Thank you to the Green Angels for your lovely weed. And thank you for listening. Bye.
I'm chilling with the queens of the Stone Age.